On Global TV News Express, NAFDAC begins enforcement of ban on alcoholic drinks in sachets. Court denies bail to Governor Fubara's 5 detained loyalists on the foreign scene. Nigeria residents protest high costs of food, living. Clashes outside Senegal Parliament delays debates, plus inter-Sudanese clashes leave 19 dead. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe. First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, has urged Nigerians to celebrate those who are cancer-free while bringing awareness to the need for improved cancer care. This is contained in a statement to mark World Cancer Day. She emphasized the need to expand access to cancer care and support for patients and survivors. Tinubu also urged continued advocacy and awareness efforts to improve service delivery. Commissioner of Police, Federal Capital Territory, Bennett Igwe, has ordered a clampdown on vehicles without number plates or with a single number plate plying FCT roads. According to a statement by FCT Police Public Relations Officer SP Josephine Ade, CP Igwe made this known when he met with members of the management team, leaders of all tactical units and heads of departments of the FCT Police Command, comprising area commanders and divisional police officers, tasking heads of the tactical units to identify black spots and possible kidnappers dens in the territory and ensure they take the fight to them. The federal government has restated its commitment to advancing the fight against cancer through research, education, and advocacy. The government explained that it's its goal to improve cancer prevention, diagnosis, and treatment, as well as to enhance the quality of life for cancer patients and survivors. Addressing the press conference in Abuja to mark this year's World Cancer Day, Director General of the National Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment, Professor Usman Malami Aliyu, explained that the commitment of the present federal administration to driving progress in cancer care extends to fostering innovation and discovery through substantial funding for cancer research in the country. Let's take a look at other stories for you. The federal government has warned states and local governments to steer clear of the collection of royalties and taxes from licensed miners operating in their domains. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, who gave the warning in Kaduna, also stated that miners and operators owe the federal government more than 2 trillion naira, calling on them to pay the debts. He said operators must pay on a monthly basis royalties and taxes to the federal government, adding that the administration of President Bola Tinubu is determined to halt the activities of illegal miners across the country. Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Bio Ibrahim, has stated that there is uncertainty regarding a potential increase in the monthly allowance for serving members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, by the federal government. In January of 2020, the federal government had approved the payment of 33,000 naira from 19,000 naira to corps members as monthly allowance, about a year after former President Muhammadu Buhari had signed the new minimum wage bill into law in April of 2019. Bio Ibrahim stated that the government will find innovative ways to cater to corps members' welfare and dwindling oil revenues. Bauchi State's government has distributed food and non-food items as cash to over 2,085 internally displaced persons, IDPs, in 5 communities of Toro local government area. The IDPs recently migrated to Bauchi State as a result of the civil unrest in Mangu, Bokus, and Baraki Ladi local government areas of Plateau State. The items, which include 100 bags of maize, 65 bags of rice, and 25 gallons of vegetable oil, 5 cartons of seasoning, 5 bags of salt, 135 mats, 135 blankets, several utensils, and 1 million naira cash were shared among the IDPs in Tilden, Fulani, Guajarandi, Magamakara, Gajaule, and Takanda IDP settlements, all in the local government area of Bauchi State. The residents of Mina, Niger State capital, have flooded the streets to protest the rising cost of food and living in the state. The protesters in large numbers blocked the Mina-Bida road at the popular Barankugu roundabout as early as 7 a.m. today. Efforts by the police to control the crowd almost resulted in violence as protesters asked the police to leave, forcing the law enforcement agents to fire several shots in the air in a bid to disperse them. An overnight fire incident has left more than 20 shops damaged and goods worth millions lost in Sangoju Irin Market in Ibadan North local government area of Oyo State. The Inferno, a third such in the city since the beginning of the year, did not record any casualty. The fire occurred as a result of an electric malfunction. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has demanded clarity over the waivers granted to hospitals by the federal government for the employment of health workers in a bid to enhancing healthcare delivery, urging the federal government to shed more light on the recent declaration of the Federal Executive Council on the relief of waiver for recruitment from the head of service for prompt follow-up. The federal government had in January authorized the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare to approve recruitment requests made by qualifying health institutions. Let's turn to Nigeria's southeast now, where Imo State traditional rulers today said their communities now have accepted to end the practice of female genital mutilation, FGM, because of its health implications for the girl child. The traditional rulers of Mbaitoli Council of the state spoke to newsmen in their communities about the campaign against FGM, which was introduced by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, on the successes they had made so far battling against FGM practices in their domain, according to the traditional ruler of Isi Ogbaku in Mbaitoli Council area of Imo State, Eze Geoffrey Opuru, said they have reached out to the various villages and the communities and have put strict measures through the various town unions' leadership. Residents of Karu, a suburb in the Abuja Municipal Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, are groaning over the lingering scarcity in the area in the past 3 months. The residents in Abuja said that the situation was disheartening, especially for those who do not have boreholes or dug-up wells in their compounds. The water scarcity, according to the FCT Water Board, was due to a damaged pipeline feeding a major water treatment plant in Usuma Dam, Buari Area Council of the territory. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has commenced the enforcement of the ban on the importation, manufacture, distribution, sale, and use of alcoholic beverages in sachets and glass bottles of 200 milliliters and below. Director General of the agency, Professor Mojishola Adeyeye, stated these are the press command products. Were still producing the products and had stacks of both finished products and packaging materials of the products in their possession. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Governor Olayemi Kaidoso, has explained that the ongoing initiatives to relocate departments and personnel to other branches are responses to the current overpopulation at the headquarters. Speaking earlier today, the governor lamented the sensational slant to the issue, saying the process is normal for any vibrant entity like a central bank. According to him, the move was to align the bank's structure with its functions and objectives and redistribute skills to ensure a more even geographical spread of talent. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested the General Overseer of Faith on the Rock Ministry International, Apostle Theophilus Oloche Eboyi, for defrauding his church members and other Nigerians using fake grants from the Fred Foundation to the tune of 1 billion naira, 319 million, 40,200 and 7,431 kobo. EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale said in a statement that Eboyi was arrested for defrauding his victims, comprising non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and individuals by advertising an intervention program through his NGO, claiming that Ford Foundation was offering a grant of $20 billion to assist the less privileged in society. Eboyi was said to be reaching his subscribers on some social media platforms to market his spurious grants from Ford Foundation. The Nigerian Navy Ford Operating Base Ibaka in Akwa Ibom State says it has apprehended 2 alleged smugglers, seized 38 bags of parboiled rice and impounded boats used in smuggling them. The commanding officer, FOB, Navy Captain Uche Aneke, disclosed this while handing over the suspects and the rise to the Nigeria Customs Service in Ibaka, Mbo local government area of the state. He said that intelligence had indicated that a boat was conveying some foreign parboiled rice suspected to have been smuggled from Cameroon to Nigeria and transiting within the waters under the FOB Ibaka area of responsibility. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja today denied bail to 5 persons accused of invading, vandalizing and burning down the Rivers State House of Assembly complex. The defendants Chime Eguma Ezebalike, Prince Lukman Oladele, Kenneth Goodluck Nkpasa, Osiga Donald and Ochoeja Thangod are answering 7 counts terrorism charge that was preferred against them by the Inspector General of Police. Police alleged that the defendants, in the wake of the political crisis that rocked the state in October last year, had invaded the House of Assembly complex in a bid to frustrate an attempt to impeach Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The National Union of Civil Engineer, Construction and Furniture and Woodworkers in Kano State today embarked on a 3-day industrial action. The strike action, beginning from February 5th, according to the union, is to draw the attention of the powers that be to its demand. A statement by the General Secretary, Comrade Ibrahim Walama, said the action became necessary following the refusal of employers to start discussions with the union on the implementation of the wage award agreed between the federal government and the organized labor. You're watching News Express, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times Channel 276. Find us on all social media platforms using Global TVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Express returns, Naira faces fierce dollar amid improved FX liquidity. We have stories more for you right after this short break. To stay with us. This is Global Television, bringing you a live broadcast of the News Express with Uyi Agumofwebe. Thank you for staying with us. Let's take you to the foreign scene now, where 19 people, with one of them a humanitarian worker, have died in ethnic clashes over the weekend in the Abyei region, straddling the border between Sudan and South Sudan, and claimed by both local authorities. Violence between the two countries is common in the oil-rich territory, with 54 people killed last week alone, including 2 United Nations peacekeepers. Another 64 people had died in injury fighting last week between 2 tribes of the main ethnic Dinka and the Abyei-based Ngok and their Twig rivals from the neighboring southern states of Warrap. Both sides have sought to press their own claim since the South gained independence in 2011, whereupon the area was placed under UN protection. Security forces used tear gas to disperse an opposition rally outside Senegal's parliament today, shortly before the start of a contentious debate on postponing this month's presidential election. Senegal has been grappling with a political crisis since President Macky Sall on Saturday announced a delay to the February 25 presidential poll, just hours before campaigning was set to officially begin.
Je suis inquiète parce que, vu la situation, je pense que ça peut soulever des choses qui ne vont pas être quelque chose de bien pour le Sénégal. Déjà, on a dépassé ces genres de situations, on a vu les événements de mars. Pourquoi pas replonger le pays dans ces genres de situations? C'était à éviter pour moi.
Opposition leaders have denounced the move as a constitutional coup, saying it is an assault on democracy. The government also suspended mobile data last June amid high tensions in the country. The measure has become a common response to curb mobilization and communication via social networks.
J'ai entendu la nouvelle. J'ai été même moi aussi un peu surpris, comme tous les Sénégalais. Mais bon, dans tout ça aussi, je sais que le président Macky Sall aussi, c'est un défenseur de la République, c'est un défenseur des institutions. On sait bien que déjà il avait annoncé sa non-candidature, ça nous avait rassurés.
It comes a day after a violent street protest had shaken Dakar, during which security forces also fired tear gas at demonstrators, and at least one senior opposition figure was arrested. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has headed to the Middle East for another crisis tour today in a bid to secure a new truce in the Israel-Hamas war, as southern Gaza saw no let-up in fighting. On his fifth trip to the region since Hamas's October 7 attack that triggered the war, Blinken is expected to visit Saudi Arabia, Israel, Egypt, and Qatar. Ahead of the trip, he stressed the need for, quotes, urgently addressing humanitarian needs in Gaza, end of quotes, after aid groups had repeatedly sounded the alarm over the devastating impacts on the besieged territory of nearly 4 months of war. The death toll from central Chile's blazing wildfires climbed to at least 112 people on Sunday after President Gabriel Boric warned the number would rise significantly as teams search gutted neighborhoods. Responders continued to battle fires in the coastal tourist region of Valparaíso amid an intense summer heat wave, with temperatures soaring to 40 degrees Celsius over the weekend. The Interior Ministry said that the Medical Examiner's Office had received 112 dead victims, 32 of whom have been identified, and there are 40 fires still active in the country. Now time to talk business. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says National Grid has been fully restored after a partial disturbance at about Sunday. Ndidi Mba, TCN's General Manager, Public Affairs, in a statement in Abuja, said that the company had initiated immediate restoration of the affected parts of the grid. According to the National Control Center, the Internet of Things IoT revealed that just before the partial disturbance, which occurred at Saple, Steam, and Egbin substations, Mba said that the sufficient generation allows for better grid management in the event of sudden generation losses like this one, adding that TCN would investigate the cause of tripping of Saple, Steam, and Egbin power generating units. Governor of Central Bank, Olayemi Cardoso, has said that the Deloitte audits revealed that $2.4 billion out of the reported $7 billion of outstanding foreign exchange liabilities of the federal government are not valid for settlement. It disclosed that the bank had settled verified FX requests, which amounted to $2.3 billion. The CBN governor added that the current total outstanding FX obligations stood at $2.2 billion. In the meantime, the Naira traded its all-time low despite improved liquidity. Market fundamentals show despite the $2.2 billion facility from the African Import-Export Bank, Afreximbank, the Naira is still under pressure due to the rising demand for the dollar. The Naira declining trend continues despite recent efforts by the Apex Bank to support the foreign exchange market through interventions, raising worries about possible effects on the overall economy. And now let's find some excitement in sports. The Nigerian Football Association, the Egyptian Football Association, I should say, has announced that Rui Victoria has been sacked as Egypt head coach after the Africa football giants' hopes of a record-extending 8th Africa Cup of Nations AFCON triumph were dashed last week. In a statement, the association board of directors thanked the Portuguese manager Victoria and his staff, adding that it was reviewing foreign coaches' resumes. In the interim, former Al Ahly coach Mohamed Yusuf would take charge of the national side, who were knocked out of the competition last week in a dramatic penalty shootout against the Democratic Republic of Congo. Former Brazilian football star Dani Alves went on trial in Barcelona accused of raping a woman in a local nightclub. Prosecutors are demanding a 9-year prison sentence followed by 10 years of conditional liberty. They are also recommending he pay 150,000 euros in compensation to the woman. The 40-year-old former Barcelona, Juventus, and Paris Saint-Germain defender was driven to court in a police van from a prison near the Catalan capital, where he has been held on remand since his arrest in January of 2023. House was arrested after a young woman had accused him of raping her in a bathroom of the VIP area of the upmarket Suture nightclub in Barcelona in the early hours of December 31, 2022. The 2026 World Cup final will take place at New Jersey's MetLife Stadium. The World Soccer governing body, FIFA, has announced. FIFA, in a release, unveiled the match scheduled for the FIFA World Cup 26, with the final to be held in New York and New Jersey on Sunday, July 19, 2026, and the opening match featuring the Mexican national team is scheduled to take place at the iconic Estadio Azteca, Mexico City on Thursday, June 11, 2026. Like Mexico, the national teams of Canada and the United States will each play their 3 group stage matches on home soil. Canada will kick off their campaign in Toronto on Friday, June 12, 2026, while the United States will begin their journey on the same day in Los Angeles. And still talking soccer, as Portuguese soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo turned 39 February 5, fans from across the globe, including boxing legend Manny Pacquiao, took to X and other social media platforms to extend their heartfelt wishes to the iconic footballer. This gesture bridges the gap between the two different sports with grace and camaraderie. Pacquiao's choice of words, notably the GOAT emoji, not only underscores Ronaldo's legendary status in football, but also reflects a deep-seated respect while simultaneously raising an argument between Messi and Ronaldo fans. Moreover, Target Ronaldo directly invites a personal connection, emphasizing the sincerity behind the message. That's interesting to know. I mean, wonderful nexus there. As we end the News Express here on Global Television, let's bring you a recap of our major stories. NAFDAC has begun enforcement of ban on alcoholic drinks in sachets. Court has denied bail to Governor Fubara's 5 detained loyalists. Niger residents have protested high cost of food, living on the foreign scene. We told you clashes outside of Senegal Parliament have caused a delay in debates, and finally, inter-Sudanese clashes have resulted in death of 19 persons. And that's it on News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Find us on all social media platforms using the handle at Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Uyi Agbofwebe, thanking you very specially for watching on behalf of the entire team here at Global Television.